I am dopamine. The past. Who cares? It already happened. The present. It's not like I can alter that I'm making this video right now. The future. Yeah, now that's what I can change. Before we begin going into the details, let's take a few quick examples on how dopamine can impact the real world life. Let's say Nin got a present for his birthday. Before opening his present, Nin's dopamine is high, excited for what he could get. He opens his present. The excitement and dopamine fades. He is no longer excited for what he could get. But Nin wants another gift. Now his dopamine rises again.
Let's continue on this discussion about dopamine. Welcome to the Marky Mouse podcast. Today we will be discussing about Mark's recent read, The Molecule of More by Daniel Lieberman and Michael Long.
We will be following a simple interview style structure. So, Mark, my first question is, what is the book about?
The Molecule of More explores dopamine and how it influences our everyday lives. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, meaning it is a chemical messenger that allows brain cells to communicate. It is also a hormone, meaning it can travel through the body and influence different systems. This shows that dopamine is not just about pleasure. It helps control how we respond to opportunities, challenges, and rewards. Without dopamine, life would feel dull and repetitive. People would have less motivation to connect with others, explore new ideas, or pursue goals. There would be no excitement you experience, and life would feel like sitting in a dark room doing absolutely nothing. Balancing dopamine with H and N is crucial.
Wow, that's really interesting. But what is H&N?
I'm glad you asked. First, it is important to clarify that H and N is not a formal scientific term. It is a term made by the author of The Molecule of More to describe and simplify chemicals and brain systems involved in appreciating the present moment. Specifically, dopamine is associated with desire, anticipation, and pursuing future rewards and possibilities. H and N, on the other hand, short for here and now, represents chemicals and systems such as, but not limited to, serotonin and oxytocin that help us experience satisfaction, connection, and appreciation in the present moment. Simply put, dopamine pushes us to seek new experiences, while H and N, or here and now, helps us appreciate what we already have in the present moment. A balance between the two of these is important for a healthy life.
Thanks for the insight. My next question is, you said the world would not be the same without dopamine. Does that imply the world would be better or worse?
Well, that depends on how people manage dopamine. Dopamine makes life exciting. It motivates us to explore, create, connect with others, and pursue goals. However, when the dopamine system is overstimulated, it can contribute to harmful behaviors such as addiction. Let's take drugs as an example. Dopamine controls the brain's reward and motivation system. Certain drugs can hijack the system by causing an unusually large release of dopamine, creating an intense reward signal that the brain does not normally experience. The brain begins to associate that experience with a powerful reward, making everyday activities feel less satisfying in comparison. Over time, this can create a cycle where a person seeks more of that reward, hence addiction. This is one example of why dopamine is powerful. It can motivate us to achieve great things, but when the system becomes unbalanced, it can also create problems.
Nice! We've discussed a lot about the effects of dopamine. But what about its chemical structure causes these properties?
Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. The book didn't talk about chemical structure of dopamine at all, so I had to do some background information check. So, dopamine's characteristics come from three main things. First, the amine group allows dopamine to interact with dopamine receptors, helping it send signals between cells. Second, the ethyl chain gives dopamine the correct spacing and flexibility needed to fit these receptors. Finally, the catechol ring with two hydroxyl groups affects dopamine's chemical properties and makes it more likely to break down through oxidation. These structures allow dopamine to activate brain pathways involved in motivation, reward, and movement. Thank you for featuring me, Mickey.